Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use FileZilla to connect and upload files to your account. I will also include some troubleshooting tips at the end in case you need them. Before we begin, you need to have an FTP account already created on your account. A video for that can be found by clicking on this link. You also need to have FileZilla installed on your home computer. If you don't, you can download it at this site, FileZilla-project.org. Please be aware that there may be other software offers bundled along with the installer. Now let's move on to uploading files. First, you need to open up FileZilla and then go to the Site Manager. There are 3 ways to get to the Site Manager once you're in FileZilla. You can click on this icon, or go to File and then Site Manager, or on your keyboard you can hold down the Control key and press S. All of these will bring up the Site Manager for you. Now you'll notice that at first, all of the fields are grayed out. You can't type anything. Once you've created a site, then you'll be able to enter some information in. First-time users will need to click the button here to create a new site, and then optionally give it a name to help keep things organized. The first box you'll want to fill in is the host. This is your domain name or the IP address of your server with us. It's best to use the IP address if your domain name is not yet pointed here. For example, if you just moved to us. You can find your IP address in your cPanel in the stats bar on the left-hand side. Next, over here, we'll be using port 21. The protocol needs to be set to FTP. And under encryption, the default within FileZilla is to use TLS over FTP. But our servers don't support that, so it's very important that you change that to plain FTP. Next, make sure your logon type is set to ask for password. Your username is either going to be the cPanel account username, or in this case, since you've already created an FTP account, it'll be the full username including the domain, such as james@example.com. It'll look more or less like an email address. Now, let's go ahead and click Connect. It should ask you to type in your FTP account's password, and then you can click OK to continue to connect. The field at the top will fill with text telling you basically what the server is doing. You can go ahead and ignore most of that. If everything was successful, it'll stop on the text Status Directory Listing Successful. This means you're properly connected. If you have a problem connecting, there will be some troubleshooting tips towards the end, so go ahead and hang on for those. Now that you're connected, on the right-hand side of the window, you'll see the remote site. This is your server with us. Then on the left-hand side is your local site. That'll be the computer that you're currently on with all of its files. To upload some files, go ahead and locate them on the left-hand side under local site, and then you just drag and drop them to the remote site. If you drop them inside of a folder, they'll be placed inside of that folder. You can see the progress of your upload up in the progress window here. You can also download files from the remote site by doing the same thing in reverse. Just drag files from the right-hand side over to the local side on the left-hand side. Now my file has completed uploading. If you see any error messages, it may mean that your connection was lost. Also, if your internet is slow, it will take longer to upload any large files. We encourage you to keep your file size as low as possible for that reason. And now it's time for that troubleshooting I promised you. If you're not able to connect to the server at all, here are some things to check for. If you're not using your cPanel user, did you type in the whole username, such as john@yourdomain.com? If you did it right, it should look like an email address. Did you type the password incorrectly, or are you using the right password? Sometimes if you copied and pasted the password, there may be an extra space at the beginning or the end. Also remember that passwords are case sensitive, so double check that you got all the capital and lowercase letters right. Is your hosting account with us active? If it's expired or deactivated, you won't be able to connect with FTP. Also, if you changed the name servers within the last 24 hours, or if the domain is not pointed here yet, you'll need to wait for it to propagate. Try using your IP address for the host name in the meantime. Try setting FileZilla to use passive FTP. You can do that in the Site Manager under the Transfer Settings tab. A number of different antivirus programs and firewalls will block port 21 unless you set it to be open. Using passive FTP can get around that issue. And that's all there is to using FileZilla. Thanks for watching.